Hello YouTube, DT here. Today I would like to review for you one of my favorite chess pieces of all time. These are the House of Staunton Club Specials. I bought them back in 2003 when they first came out. In order to keep my train of thought, what I have done here is I printed some talking points. Can't fit the whole thing, the tripod is rather close to the chessboard here on the table. But I will be talking about application, design, resemblance to photographs, and you can see the rest of the talking points there. So let's begin. Hopefully I can keep this video as short as I can. Application. Obviously these pieces, by their design, do meet all tournament requirements. If you're wondering what the tournament requirements are, here I have printed from FIDE's website the requirements for chess pieces, and it just talks a little bit about, I'm probably going to put a link to the description for this, but it talks about the material. Plastic is definitely one of the materials. These pieces are plastic. The height, 9.5 centimeters. That's close to 3.75 inches. And these pieces are right around that height. The style of the pieces, well, Staunton style. And the color, the dark pieces should be brown or black. Okay, these are. And the white pieces, light pieces, should be white or cream. These pieces here are ivory, I guess. Very nice color, as you can see. Probably the light is too strong in front of a window here, so maybe the blacker pieces will show, you know, the quality and the finish in the pieces a bit better. So to begin, applications, again, we can play tournaments, play at home, in the park, anywhere. Pieces are plastic, and as such they're sturdy. You could say that almost indestructible within reason, and given the application in which the pieces will be used. Obviously nothing is really indestructible. I can grab a hammer, I can grab a saw and destroy these pieces, but if we use them for the intended purpose, they will be pretty much difficult to break. The design, and that's probably what attracted me about these pieces the most, I think it's outstanding. When these pieces first came out, I went into my box of old chess sets and chess pieces, and I grabbed, this is the first chess set that I bought before I bought these pieces right here, to kind of show you what was available in the market at the time. Now these are nice pieces, really nothing wrong with them. This is a really crappy attempt on my part to put something at the bottom, remove the felt bottoms that were coming off, and cut off a old chessboard, just like this one. This is a vinyl chessboard. I caught one that was all beat up and destroyed, and tried to put some pads on the bottom of my chess pieces here. So this was the design, and I'm sure many of you will remember these. And these are nice pieces. Again, in terms of the quality of the plastic, these are pretty much also very solid. I got these pieces for my oldest daughter at the time. She was a tiny baby, and I bought them because I felt that she would have a really hard time breaking these, and indeed she was never able to do that. These are the queens on that set. But if you pay attention to the details, see the mold seams here. You know, they're not, I want to see if this focuses. I mean, I don't think they're of the highest quality. I guess finish on these pieces, but I don't want to get ahead and too far ahead on my talking points. Fit and finishes, and at least a little bit to be desired, but I mean, these pieces, when I bought them, I think I probably paid between $5 and $10. These are the knights. Okay, but these knights are still around. Probably slightly different sets. I see like how the knight is off center. I mean, they were paying very little attention to detail when they were making these pieces. And I'm not an expert or a historian, and I'm sure that there's some guys that really know their chess pieces and their histories, but when I first bought these pieces, these are pretty much all I could find online and around where I lived at the time. Here are the rooks. So as you might understand, sorry for bumping the camera there, when these guys came out, oops, I was really blown away, especially when I got them. These have a shine to them. Again, I'm going to show you the black pieces. I think you can see them better. The mold seams are much more discreet. They're better. The paper, the bottoms haven't to this date, and it's more than 10 years. They haven't came off yet. The elegance, I think, in the pieces, the flare, the way they flare here at the bottom, I think it's just beautiful. Bear with me here. I'm trying to do things while looking through the viewfinder, through the little screen here on the camera. How nice are these pieces, huh? I'm hoping that this is focusing well. I didn't get this HD camera to give a really good close-up of the pieces. Okay. Here's the bishop, probably one of my favorite bishops of all time, especially when compared to the previous one I just showed you. Look at these guys. How nice are these pieces, huh? These are great. And, oh man, look at these knights. Now compare this knight to this sorry fellow right here. Now there's nothing really wrong. I like these old knights, and I still have sets with knights like this, and I even have wooden sets that have these knights. You know, there's a nostalgia, I guess, associated with these knights, and I like them, and I really enjoy playing with them. But look at this. Aren't these great? These pieces, when I bought them in 2003, like I said, I paid between $5 and $10. I'm thinking around $6, but I don't remember exactly. Just beautiful. And of course, the pawns, following with the design, very nice flow. When you look at all the pieces, they do fit within a design. So whoever designed these, and I'm not exactly sure, but correct me if I'm wrong, but I think it might have been Frank Camarada from House of Staunton at the time. He was still running the company, so I believe he was the one responsible for these pieces, at least in part. So obviously, because these are plastic chess pieces, I'm going to try to roll the image here, or at least the images that House of Staunton had on their website at the time. Well, resemblance when it comes to chess pieces, you would expect to be almost spot on. We're not talking about wood, where depending on the day, whoever is carving them or turning them, they might have some variations. And obviously manufacturers and retailers are going to put out the absolute best set and take pictures of those and then put them on their website. That's also hamburgers. They do it for hamburgers. I'm sure they would do it for chess pieces. That's sort of to be expected, but within reason too, you know. So moving on, the quality of the material. Well, again, I kind of touched on that a little bit. These are plastic, and as such, plastic chess pieces tend to be very durable. At least these ones are super sturdy. Now, I personally, because I love them so much, it's not like I went out and put them through the ringer, tried to destroy them or anything like that. But in playing with them, the bit that I have, I can pretty much put these guys in the same category I would put these other chess pieces. Like very, very, very durable. Now I'm not saying that because they're plastic, I'm not saying all plastic chess pieces are made equal. In fact, I had bad experiences with chess pieces made out of plastic. Let me show you here. I bought this set a few years ago, I don't remember exactly, from Wholesale Chess. These are, if I remember correctly, they're clubs, not the club specials, but they're quality chess pieces. These ones were the triple weighted. Over time I removed the weights, and with the hope that one day maybe I would be able to fit them into these, but I never really got around to doing that. These pieces, you might recognize them. Here's the queen. Are far more brittle than those pieces there, and then the other ones that I just showed you. As a matter of fact, when I bought this set, I bought them because they were weighted, and I wanted to see what they were all about. I dropped one of the rooks. It wasn't this one, but I was opening the bag, and you know, like a typical idiot, I opened the bag, and some of the pieces flew out, and one of the rooks fell on my kitchen floor, and it just totally chipped. It cracked on impact. Now maybe it did. It was probably the wrong kind of fall. The fact that I had a tile floor, but I can guarantee you that I have dropped these pieces from all sorts of heights on wood floors, tile, concrete, several times, and they're yet to break. Okay, now I'm not trying to say these pieces are crap. I'm trying to illustrate the point that not all plastic is the same, and these pieces, as far as for what I can feel and from what my experience has been, they are a bit more brittle. I'm sorry you have to stare at my ugly, unkept hands here, guys, so just bear with me. So that's for quality of materials. How about, well, craftsmanship? I don't know. We're not talking about wooden again. But again, even though they're plastic, not all of these sets are created the same. Now, when I bought two of these sets, when I first bought them in 2003, simply because at the time there were all these sets coming out with two queens, and I really wanted to form a set of these pieces with two queens, and so I bought two. Soon thereafter, the pieces ran out. House of Staunton didn't have them anymore, and I couldn't find them anywhere. So I kind of embarked in this quest to find more sets of these pieces. And believe it or not, and probably the reason why I'm doing this video is because after 11 years, since 2014 right now, it's like October 2014, I came across a few sets. I found 3 sets on the website, so I went ahead and bought them all. And again, I still paid $6 for them 11 years later. So I know this one, this queen, for instance, comes from the new set that I just bought. And to show you here, number one, so if you I don't know if the camera will pick that up, hopefully it will, there is a difference in tone, in the tone of the plastic. These pieces here on the left are a bit shinier, and when you touch them, they have a nicer feel to them. These pieces, on the other hand, have a more matte finish, and they feel a little, when you try to slide your finger to it on the piece, you can tell they're not as smooth. Now their chest is beautiful, and I love them, and I think, and I really like that variation. I have the shiny ones, although I don't know if I would call them shiny, but they're like the ones with a little bit more gloss to them, and then these ones are nice. And I can tell also in the plastic and the quality that these ones will be just as durable as those. But there is a small variation in that. I bought another set too. I found on eBay around the same time, just recently. So for 10 years I was looking for these pieces and I couldn't find any. And when I finally find them, I find 2 opportunities to buy these pieces in the same month. One, you know, these ones I bought on eBay. The other ones I just showed you I bought from Cajun Chess. Sure, you can Google that. But these ones from eBay, if you look carefully at the crown, when the camera decides to focus. There we go. See, look at the quality of the molding there. It's not quite the same. Oh, by the way, if you guys hear noises and sounds in the back, my kids are... Today is my day off, so I'm with my kids. And just bear with me here. Let me see. It's the same nice, beautiful set, but you can tell that the quality and maybe the attention to detail that they put in that day wasn't the same. I still love them though. I still play with them. There we go. And this, to compare and contrast here, these ones are a bit better. So I can grab the black piece. I think the light here. I'm trying to, as I'm doing this, I'm learning a lot, guys. So just bear with me. See when this decides to focus, focus. There we go. Hopefully the camera can capture that, but you know, these are a little bit better in quality. So yeah, that'll be craftsmanship. They do vary. We already talked about finish. Like I said, these pieces over here, they have a more of a matte finish, shiny over here, or glossy. Now in terms of durability, we already talked about that. And again, I'm just kind of going down the talking points I wrote for myself to keep my train of thought in line here. So yeah, durability, I would score the durability of these pieces high. I wouldn't be too worried if they dropped off the, you know, my dining room table onto my tile floor. I wouldn't be too worried about that. Replacement pieces availability. Well, unfortunately, and you might make the argument thanks to me for buying all of them, very few that were out there. Replacement availability is real limited, but I think that's mainly because at one point the House of Staunton discontinued these pieces and now we can't find them anywhere. How about the weight? Well, let's weigh them. Let's see what we got here. I have my old trusty. Let me get all this out of the way here. Got my kitchen scale. Okay, now we're like measuring in ounces. The king weighs at 1 ounce. So if you I don't know if you can find something that's about 1 ounce in your house, but that's certainly a light piece. They're not very heavily weighted. It's just plastic. They're solid plastic. Luckily, if you were to peel the bottoms here, you wouldn't see a hole or anything like that, like you do see in some sets. But they're rather light. I can change this to grams. Let's see here. 28 grams, not a whole lot. So and that's just for the king. Obviously the rest of the pieces will be slightly lighter than that. Okay. Stability, well, I think stability, you know, they're what they are. They're $6 a set and they're unweighted, so I don't think you should expect a heck of a lot in terms of stability from these pieces. You know, I'm not tilting it that much. And you also have to consider that one thing is to do this, you know, to hold it like that and let it go. Another thing is you go for a piece, you know, and you rub it with your wrist or your sleeve. So yeah, they're not the most stable. And because of that, when it comes to application, would I consider these pieces ideal for, say, blitz? I don't know, maybe not. Maybe I would choose a heavier set of pieces that would give me a little more stability. But you know, people do it. They do it in parks. We've seen it in movies. If you live in the East Coast, you've probably seen it in Central Park in New York. They use pieces very much like these, single-weighted plastic chess pieces, and those guys go at it really fast, and they do just fine. So they will do the job. Personally, though, I would prefer to have a little more weight to my pieces if I was going to be playing really fast. Alright, sorry about that, guys. One of my kids came in and they had a question. Before they did, I was going to talk about square size. I'm going to use this square right here. As you can tell, this is a traditional vinyl roll-up chessboard you can buy anywhere. Square sizes on this 2 1/4 inch squares. So I think that's the standard, really. I'm not positive, but I believe so. And I have the talking points there to kind of guide me to this again. And as you can tell, they fit just nicely. You can show that with all the pieces. We have the queen there, bishop, knight, pawn, and the rook. Gives you an idea how these pieces will fit in a traditional board. Compliance to determine specifications. Well, as I mentioned earlier, I did print this from, I'm going to fold this, see if I can fit it in the frame. I printed this sheet from Fides or Fide, I don't know how you would pronounce it, from the official handbook of rules online. All you have to do is Google that. I wasn't able to find a digital or PDF version of the US Chess Federation's handbook, but I'm pretty sure they're really close to the same. So 9.5 centimeters, these pieces. The king measures 375. The base is between 40 and 50%, and when I measure the bases on the kings, they indeed were between 40 and 50% of the height. And yes, this is the size of the other pieces should be proportionate to their height, and form. Other elements such as stability, aesthetic considerations, etc. might also be taken into account. The weight of the pieces should be suitable for comfortable moving and stability. That we talked about that, and you can make an argument that yes, they are. Form and the style, obviously Staunton style. And it gives a little description there. You can pause the video and read that. Okay, and then the color and the materials. So they do meet all FIDE standards. It says the pieces should not be shiny and should be pleasing to the eye. That's a little vague, sort of a broad, because I mean, although all these pieces have some gloss to them, and a bit, right, and nothing too crazy, I wouldn't consider them to be an eyesore or anything like that. I have wooden pieces that certainly have more of a glossy finish. I wonder if they would, fit the standards for FIDE. Interestingly, though, on most chess retail websites, they will tell you, all their pieces fit all tournament standards. I guess it kind of depends on who reads the rules and how they interpret them too. And so likability scale, again, the reason why I'm reviewing these pieces, because I like them a lot. It's probably one of my favorite chess pieces. despite the fact that they're plastic. So much so that one day I would even like to have someone carve these into wood. I think these would be excellent in wood. Alright, so that's my review, guys. Thank you for watching. If I see that you guys like these reviews and want more, I'll make more. So just go ahead and please write a comment in the comment section. Let me know what you think. You know, criticize, complain, whine, whatever you want to do. Share your videos too, your pictures, your own chess pieces. I think that the YouTube community is a little bit underserved when it comes to the review of chess pieces. Either what I'm finding so far is retailers that are putting out their product and reviewing it, which of course is a little, I don't know, obviously they will have something good to say about what they're selling. So I like to see more independent reviewers just pulling out their chess sets and reviewing them and sharing them with the world. In case you already have these chess pieces and just looking to validate your purchase, or you're thinking about buying a set and you just want to see them up close a bit more. Okay, well, thank you for watching. This is DT, and y'all have a good day. Hello YouTube, DT here. Today I would like to review for you one of my favorite chess pieces of all time. These are the House of Staunton Club Specials. I bought them back in 2003 when they first came out. In order to keep my train of thought, what I have done here is I printed some talking points. Can't fit the whole thing, the tripod is rather close to the chessboard here on the table. But I will be talking about application, design, resemblance to photographs, and you can see the rest of the talking points there. So let's begin. Hopefully I can keep this video as short as I can. Application. Obviously these pieces, by their design, do meet all tournament requirements. If you're wondering what the tournament requirements are, yeah, I have printed from FIDE's website the requirements for chess pieces. And it just talks a little bit about, I'm probably going to put a link to the description for this, but it talks about the material. Plastic is definitely one of the materials. These pieces are plastic. The height, 9.5 centimeters. That's close to 3.75 inches, and these pieces are right around that height. The style of the pieces, well, Staunton style. And the color, the dark pieces should be brown or black. Okay, these are. And the white pieces, light pieces, should be white or cream. These pieces here are ivory, I guess. Very nice color, as you can see. Probably the light is too strong in front of a window here, so maybe the blacker pieces will show, you know, the quality and the finish in the pieces a bit better. So to begin, applications, again, we can play tournaments, play at home, in the park, anywhere. Pieces are plastic, and as such they're sturdy. You could say